Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Gonzo Tonight Show. We're doing a holiday special episode for you. It's going to encompass, sort of be a guide of how to celebrate Thanksgiving during a national pandemic. And in 2020, we have seen a great pandemic that has stretched all across the world. But in America, specifically in the United States, we celebrate things like Thanksgiving, and we want to be able to celebrate as best we can normally during this pandemic. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about some different guidelines, different sort of things you can do to celebrate the best of your abilities a normal Thanksgiving. And keep in mind that some of these state guidelines in every state, they do vary. So make sure you take this information with a grain of salt. And if you live in a state, however, like Florida per se, I love my great state, you don't have to worry about much of this. The only thing you got to worry about really is making sure you bring enough food for the 20 plus people that are coming to your Thanksgiving this year. So if that's not you though, and you live in a state, a left-leaning state such as California, or New York, or Washington, or New Jersey, and such, this video is for you. So make sure you stay tuned for more tips. And speaking of California and a lot of the states that I mentioned previously, even Florida, my home state, we're pushing policies that are going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And as you economists out there know, that's not good for inflation. That's not good for the cost of living. And when things like this happen, that's why I like to trust in ACORN. ACORN helps me stay ahead of the game and beat inflation. ACORN is a great app for investing, and it takes your spare change or a percentage of your paycheck and it invests it into the stock market. You can choose to invest conservatively, moderately, or aggressively. I think it's ironic that the opposite of conservative is aggressive. I guess Antifa took that very literally. And when it comes to investing, however, I personally like to choose the aggressive approach. It's high risk, but it is more potential gain. If you're more cautious with your money, you can go ahead and go a more moderate or conservative route when it comes to investing and make sure that your money is safe and secure in the long haul. The best part about Acorn is that all the investing you do is done by Acorn. They do all the investing for you. It's great for those of you who are just now getting into the investing game. Maybe you guys don't know too much about what's going on when it comes to investing. Don't worry about that. Acorn will go ahead and take care of it for you. And lastly, if you use the link to sign up, there'll be a link in the description or in the show notes, wherever you're watching or listening. Use that link. Acorn will go ahead and give you your first $5 to go ahead and put towards your investment portfolio. Trust me, every dollar counts. Again, use the link in the description or in the show notes below to get your first $5 to help you kick off your investment today. Now, getting into the important stuff. Thanksgiving. Protect our turkeys, mainly the cooked ones. We love a good turkey, nice good ham for Thanksgiving maybe. I'm going to talk to you about ways to still celebrate Thanksgiving this year during a national pandemic with all the rules and stuff, especially if you live in a Gestapo-run state like California. For those of you, however, that live in a normal state like Florida per se, if you guys don't know, there's a lot of states like California, New York, New Jersey that are implementing rules for citizens, not necessarily laws because they're not laws, but maybe like a mask mandate, a statewide mandate, statewide social distancing. These states for Thanksgiving especially, they want you to have gatherings of no more than 6 people per se, maybe 10 people if they're being generous. It should be held outdoors. Masks and social distancing should be kept in mind. Over the past year, of course, we've seen police in states like New York and California heavily enforce similar guidelines, and I wouldn't be surprised if they enforce these guidelines in Thanksgiving in those states. So if you live in one of those states, be sure you listen to me closely because these are going to be some great tips and tricks for you. In order to prevent getting arrested, for having, your 10 immediate family members at your house. What you can do, the first tip that we recommend you do, is to go ahead and rat out your neighbors first. So we suggest you go to your neighborhood, go through, look around, try and find the biggest gathering you can find. That's not yours, but the biggest gathering besides yours that you can find. Call the police. Say, hey, just wanted to let you know. You can call the non-emergency number. Just want to let you know there's a big gathering happening down the street from me. It looks like they're not really following the CDC guidelines. I think you guys should go check it out. And just like that, the cops, the SWAT team, whoever they want to send, they're going to go to that house down the street, check them out. They're not even going to think about checking out your house because you ratted them out. You called on them. So they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm not even going to go ahead and check these guys that called. I mean, if they even know it's your house, of course they know. But they're not even going to have time or energy to go to your house as well and arrest all your family members for celebrating Thanksgiving. It's just not going to happen because they're busy taking care of your neighbors. So one of the best ways to basically redirect the cops and the SWAT team and the government as a whole is to go ahead and rat out your neighbors before the cops get a chance to find your place. Our second tip that we have for you, this one kind of ties into the last one, but you make sure that you have your friends, your families, your friends or family, any of your guests, park down the street a bit or park anywhere away from the house, preferably in front of someone else's house. So then what happens is when the cops drive by, when they're driving down the street, they'll see all these cars parked in front of this other house, and your house will be completely empty. You also want to make sure that you have your gathering inside the house, of course, and close your blinds, close all the windows so no one can see in, so they don't know what's going on inside your house. You basically want your house to look abandoned compared to your neighbor's house. So they'll be patrolling, do whatever it is they do. Or someone calls, hey, there's like 10 cars in front of this guy's house, and they'll all be over there. None the wiser that you guys are having an absolute rager inside your house, an absolute Thanksgiving marathon of all the foods you could think of. And no one's going to be the wiser because everyone's cars are parked over there. They're going to be now. The problem is they might be like, well, whose cars are these? Then you might run into some issues. But as long as there's no strict policy on towing in the neighborhood, you should be fine. All you want to do is basically make sure that they don't know it's your house. Also, a key tip, this isn't on our main list, but I want to make sure that you guys go ahead and get your own Gonzo Tonight Show merch. Very important. It's Cyber Weekend too, so of course, from now until December 1st, use the code CYBER, CYBER, to get 30% off your entire order. This is until December 1st. So make sure you go to teespring.com/stores/Gonzo Tonight. Use the code CYBER until December 1st, and you can get 30% off your entire order of the Gonzo Tonight merch. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, anything you want, we can do it. Back to our main list. Our third tip for this wonderful Thanksgiving in 2020. Simply just leave. Just leave your state. Find friends, families, or strangers that live in another state, a normal state, like Florida, where we're allowed to celebrate Thanksgiving to the fullest extent of our abilities, and just have Thanksgiving there. Chances are, most states in the country have common sense leadership when it comes to COVID, and there's no, statewide lockdowns, no mask mandate, no, have to be social distancing at all times, no wearing masks inside your house, crazy things like that. And permission to have more than 6 family members at your Thanksgiving, basically. All you got to do, travel 1 or 2 states away, probably towards the middle of the country, or come to Florida. We're welcome to have you. Chances are you'll find someone like me who is loving and welcoming and will allow you to have Thanksgiving, and we won't judge you for trying to celebrate Thanksgiving like we have every single year before this. Number 4, This one's probably the hardest to accomplish, but it's the most foolproof, I would say. I think some of you out there will be able to pull it off. But basically, what you need to do is reach out to your governor, your senator, mayor, any political official in your state, and invite them to your Thanksgiving. Make their favorite food, give them an early Christmas present, donate to their corrupt campaign, whatever you want to do, anything in order to get them to your Thanksgiving gathering. Why is that? Very simple. These politicians, like Governor Newsom, let's say, they make these rules about COVID, but they are also the ones that are exempt from these rules. We've seen such as Governor Newsom. He was out eating dinner with his friends and family. No masks, no social distancing, and implementing these strict rules on the rest of the state. Or like Governor Cuomo, outside walking his dog. No masks, no social distancing. The governor of New Jersey, same thing, eating dinner with his family. And he said that people should put a mask on in between each bite. I kid you not. In between each bite, you need to lift your mask up and lift it down, take a bite, whatever. And he wasn't doing that. He was just not wearing a mask. So, but they don't get in trouble. So what you do is you invite your political officials, governors, mayors, whatever, to your Thanksgiving. Therefore, the cops can't bust your Thanksgiving. They won't send a SWAT team over there because the people that are exempt from the rules are at your Thanksgiving. So basically, this protects you from anything, any agency coming after you. You won't get in trouble if you have a political official there, especially the ones that make the rules, because they're the ones that are exempt. And before we get to the last big Thanksgiving tip that I have for you today on this special episode, I wanted to make sure you guys consider donating to the podcast and supporting us at buymeacoffee.com/gonzo. Your support is what keeps us going. It's what helps us continue to improve in the future. And you can also join our Gonzo Gold membership on buymeacoffee.com/gonzo. Our Gonzo Gold membership has many special benefits that the average listener does not have access to. So again, go to buymeacoffee.com/gonzo. Consider supporting the show and helping us out, keep us going for the long haul, and of course, improving our podcast every single day. It's much appreciated. I thank you guys for the support you've given to us over the past year. Finally, though, we have the fifth final tip for you today. This one is not the hardest to accomplish. It's almost as foolproof as the last one. I'd say it could be the most effective when implemented right. And keep in mind, for those of you who have been listening to this episode and haven't realized that this is satire, we don't condone any of these things that we've just said. It would be funny as heck, but we don't condone it. And especially this one, we don't condone it. This whole thing is satire. But anyway, ignore that. What I just said is that this is the best tip you're going to get from us today, okay? Here's what you do. First of all, you have to have your Thanksgiving outside. That's the thing. You have it outside, but trust me, it's worth it. And you make sure that you, all your friends, and all your family gets their very own AR-14 assault weapon with a 100-round clip and shoots 30,000 rounds per second. You sit outside, the cops are patrolling, the officers, whatever. They see you eating some turkey, some stuffing, whatever. With this bad boy on you, they ain't gonna do nothing. I promise you that. And, real quick, I do have to say that this is not mine. This AR-14 here is not mine. I'm looking at you, Joe. I lost all my guns in a boating accident recently. A very tragic boating accident. I barely made it out alive. Lost all my guns, though, so I had to borrow this one from a friend. I do not plan on getting any more guns. Joe, if you're listening, I do not plan on getting any more guns. I have no guns left because they are all in the bottom of the ocean. Couldn't save a single one. So Just for the record, I don't have any guns. I'm borrowing this one from a friend. And anyway, foolproof plan on how to survive your absolutely almost normal Thanksgiving during a national pandemic, worldwide pandemic. But of course, this is directed towards the United States because we're celebrating Thanksgiving and the mass genocide of a bunch of Native Americans. But thank you very much for tuning into this exclusive episode of the Gonzo Tonight Show. I hope that these tips and tricks will help you survive your Thanksgiving dinner and that you won't get arrested or anything like that for not wearing a mask or social distancing. But thank you very much again for tuning in. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can stay updated with when we upload new episodes on social media as well. Gonzo Tonight everywhere. Stay up to date with what we're doing. Special events or exclusive episodes like this one. Be sure you keep up to date with what's going on. And until next time, be safe. Take care. Thanks for tuning in.